I like this angle. We get to see the sky. So I was just in a store, and the security guard, who was not on duty, who was in his plain clothes. This is the hood store, so we know who the security is. So he walked up to the lady behind me, somebody that he know, family, friend, whoever. He walked up to the older lady behind me, and he started saying, that the whole conversation got my attention for what he was saying when he walked up. So he was saying something, but he completed the conversation that he was already having with himself, with the lady behind me. And then he said, yeah, that's what I told him, talking about the cashiers. You standing there with your lips poked out, and when you get a customer who somebody standing in front of you and now their lips poked out, don't say nothing. And he went on to say some other things about how he would love to see one of them get their ass beat, the cashiers, because some of them have some really messed up attitudes in there. But for the most part, they're good people. There's a lot of them who are really nice, but some of them have a really nasty disposition, just like life. So, I don't know, the whole time I'm standing there, I was like, I should go talk about that on live, because I was supposed to talk about something else and totally forgot what the part 2 of what I was supposed to talk about was. So here you go. So, just like so many other words and concepts that are misconstrued or just totally wrong and totally off, there is the word karma that people use a lot. As far as the laws, universal laws, technically there is no universal law called karma. But there are a couple of the universal laws that it seems like people have meshed together and call that karma. And my next, I ain't going to say next on it. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'm going to eventually, very soon, talk about the laws of attraction. I'm not the laws of attraction. Talk about the universal laws and break them all down. So remember, a law is something that is true every time. A law is something that's just what it is. A rule is something that is correct in most instances. There is a saying, rules are meant to be broken. Rules can be broken. Laws cannot be broken. Just like you cannot break. I'm saying, for us to live, we have to have oxygen pumping through our lungs. For us to live, we have to have a heartbeat. Now, there are some people who are deemed and considered a medical, what they call vegetable, meaning all those two things are working. So they're bare minimum living. But the brain is what they call dead. Some people can say that if you have substantial brain damage or if the brain isn't working, you can't live. Well, that would fall more in lines of a rule than a law. To have your lungs pumping air in and out and having your heart beating, those are laws, meaning no matter which way you slice it, or no matter which way you come at it, you deal with it, or whatever, you are literally dead without a heartbeat. You are literally dead without those lungs pumping air in and out. But you can still be alive in a medical sense with your brain not working. Rule versus laws. So some people say it's karma and you get back what you do, people, and stuff like that. And that's such a very unsophisticated way of dissecting that. It's real simple. Throughout my life, I've had people on numerous occasions, and it's usually the same people saying the same thing. But they say that they're always having problems with people. That's not my reality. I don't always have issues with people. Even people who end up being some type of weird issue for whatever reason, it still always comes full circle, and usually people end up not having an issue with me in the long term. So I know a lot of times people be under the influence of somebody that told them something about me, and somebody then gossip, and they're looking at me from that lens. But it's never really somebody running up on me and it's some type of beef, because there is no real animosity. This is just what that person feels for whatever reason. It means that it's not reciprocatory. It means that they're the only one in that one-sided beef or that one-sided animosity. So by rules of human interaction, they're not going to just run up on me when I haven't done them anything at all. And there's a lot of people who I've done good things for and I've been nice to, and they still have issues with me. So they definitely don't have any reason to run up on me. Usually in life, in situations, just like when I'm walking, most of the time, even if you hear it or not, people are speaking to me, smiling and stuff like that. I understand that not only for those people, but because that's the way I come out into the world. In essence, just like the security guard was saying, subconsciously, if people are aware of it or not, people pretty much mirror back to you the energy and the attitude you project outwardly. Some people think that the laws of attraction is something about material gain, and it's not. When you want something in life, you have to vibrate and move, not pretend. Not pretend. Because when you're pretending, that means that you're just putting on a rules, you're putting on an act for a person or a group of people. The universe, even your mind, does not respond to that. So for the laws of attraction, you have to be on the frequency of the life you want to live. You have to be on the frequency that's required to be the type of person you want to be. Which now we're going into some spiritual warfare and some dangerous territory when we have people who don't have control over their minds. They're weak-minded, weak mind, weak-willed, and they are emotionally bullied, coerced, physically bullied into behaving or being something and sometimes it's not a matter of they want to be this and somebody is coercing them to be that. A lot of times it's just that people, they get into these groups, this hive-like thinking, and thinking that there's strength in numbers, and in actuality, it's a rule, which means that that's not true all the time. If you're a person like me and you're a lone wolf, or what they call a Sigma personality type, you understand that because of who you are, your strength is in being alone. Your strength is with less people around you, because the people around you can end up being the very people who have animosity towards you. Familiarity breeds contempt. So I'm going to go over the universal laws later to show how what they call karma is pretty much an enmeshment of several universal laws. But in essence, no, there isn't, karma isn't real, but also in essence, it is real if you understand that it's an enmeshment of multiple universal laws. So karma itself isn't real, but those laws that's enmeshed are real. So